This movie was called the greatest animated movie of all time. If you're having trouble sleeping, I recommend rewatching this scene. If I'll hear it once, I will have it stuck in my head on repeat. It's home from work we go. How does the movie stand the test of time? Well, the answer's simple. Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna be talking about why we love old Disney movies so much, and specifically Snow White, the version from 1937. Someday my prince will come. Now I know that the new Snow White movie is all the rage, but everyone's been making videos non-stop about that, so instead I decided to rewatch the original Snow White, and let me tell you, the movie holds up very well. You have to think that this movie was released in 1937. The movie is 88 years old. We're approaching on a century since the movie was released and still relevant today. How come children nowadays and adults can rewatch and love the movie just as much as the first time they did? How does the movie stand the test of time? Well, the answer's simple. The story is successful because of its simplicity. What I mean by that is, there is no bigger overarching theme except for the quest for finding true love and the trials you have to go through to do it. You follow Snow White, she gets banned from her own castle. This evil stepmother just talks to the magic mirror tells her she's not the fairest of them all anymore. She gets pissed, wants to kill her, so sends the huntsman with her in the woods to kill her, and he doesn't because of her beauty, gentleness and all that, and he lets her escape and run through the forest where she meets the 7 dwarfs, which we'll come to later. Also, what do we know about the prince? Nothing really. He's just charming, wears the kind of same color palette as Snow White, which is a detail I noticed just now, so I guess they fit together. And he has a castle somewhere and he wants to whisk her away to it, and that's it. Do we know anything about Snow White's parents, where they went, how the evil stepmom took over? Nope. That's why we love old Disney movies. They allow you to go into this world of a fairy tale where things are just easier, things are simpler, things are not like in reality, so they are an escapist fantasy. I believe that's the old Disney magic we all deserve, and Disney should stop making these atrocity live-action movies that push people away from the intended original message. I loved Disney growing up, and I'm so sad with each live-action movie to see that magic being taken away by some greedy corporate people. Anyways, that was the magic of old Disney. Simple rules. It was like, if you wish hard enough, if you're kind enough, life will give you what you deserve and what you wish for. And I think that's a beautiful lesson to teach our children. I genuinely believe that if adults nowadays, and maybe part of Gen Z who feel lost in the dating world and just in general, would start rewatching these old Disney movies and taking the lessons from them seriously, I think the world and the dating scene would be a better place for it. Snow White in the 1937 version might not have many qualities or any personality at all. The reason why so many girls can empathize with her and put themselves in her shoes is because she doesn't have a defined one. She just has aspirational qualities. Except for the fact that she is young and looking for love, she's kind, she's generous, and has this longing to find her prince. We don't know much else about her, but that's perfect. This way, each little girl can picture herself as Snow White. They can just take the beautiful princess and imagine they are the beautiful princess, because they can just put their personality onto the character. So the whole adventure becomes your adventure as well. Another beautiful life lesson that I've learned and enjoyed seeing in this movie was how resourceful she is. As a little girl, I think I admired her for that. She basically wakes up alone in the forest. Her only friends, or help to talk to, being some animals who happen to be nice enough and not predators. And she finds this little hut with these men, and she cleans it up, cooks them dinner, teaches them how to be tidy and kind. I think that's beautiful. The dwarves get introduced in the mine scene. I have to tell you, that first scene where the camera zooms into the mine and you see the sparkling, beautiful diamonds and rubies and all the other precious stones. I think that's when my 7-year-old, 6-year-old self who was watching this discovered that I love jewelry. The way they sparkle, the way they made those little animated sparkles, it was beautiful. I wanted to work alongside those dwarves. We don't yet know anything about them. We just see that they're hardworking and don't think too much about life. They just go about their way. We already saw their house, so we know they're not tidy, but that's about it. And honestly, what do you expect from men? This movie was called the greatest animated movie of all times, and I can see why. The animation is gorgeous for the year 1937. You have to keep in mind they used to do every scene by hand. No branch or tree leaves or anything was left to chance. Take for example the scene of them leaving the mine. Now, this didn't have to be made into anything in the movie. It's just a transition scene to show that they're going home. It could have just been a short scene of them saying, hey, work day's over, we're going home. But of course, because it's Disney, it's not. They make a song out of it. They have a going home song, which is to this day so epic and stuck in my head. If I'll hear it once, I will have it stuck in my head on repeat. It's the Hi Ho song. Hi ho, it's home from work we go. And it's a great way to transition from their workday to going home. Also, it increases anticipation that they'll get home and find Snow White there. Another thing about this scene is the animation in it. For example, this shot of them coming around the bend where you see their shadows being bigger than they actually are, and then they do come into frame and they're so small in comparison. It's an interesting perspective. It's a clever shot, in my opinion, and a clever way of animating and establishing that they are dwarves. Or take, for example, this shot. You see beautiful waterfall and it's so peaceful and it establishes the background of the forest that we find ourselves in. Also, it's such a stark contrast to that of the castle, which we'll talk about in a minute. No, let's talk about it right now. The castle is this stark white thing against the clouds. It's tall, it's inescapable, it's almost claustrophobic, especially with those rich velvety or satiny red curtains, which, by the way, great animation. The way those satiny animated curtains close, it's just so beautiful. I just wanna touch those curtains. You just wanna feel them. That's how you know it's good animation and that it has a soul. Let's talk about the animals. They're adorable. The animation of the animals and how they're all in pairs, which kind of foreshadows the ending of finding true love and all that. I'd find that just beautiful. And if you're an adult rewatching this, you will catch on to the subtlety of that. But that's why these movies felt so beautiful and warm. And yes, of course, no real bird or animal will help you make a pie like they do in this movie, but it was my childhood dream to make a gooseberry pie where the birds just make the edges for me and cut off the crust and bring me flowers with water fresh into the house. Yeah, I loved that as a little child. If you're having trouble sleeping, I recommend rewatching this scene in particular. After they dance, everyone goes to sleep. The dwarves, being gentlemanly, give her their bed and bedroom, and they each find a nook or cranny to sleep in downstairs. This scene is so peaceful because it shows each of them falling asleep, even a fly on the nose of one of the dwarves, and the sound design in it is so peaceful. That wooden hut is where I would like to spend sleepless nights because I just know I would sleep so well in there. By the way, how beautiful is that little hut? So much love went into each detail of it. There are wood carvings all over the place. The chair of each dwarf, the bed of each dwarf has its own specific carving with their names of it. Every pillar in that place is carved because they are these men who go mining and also the wood carving, so the thought was put into this. Another thing we need to talk about is the evil queen's magic.
Slave in the magic mirror.
That scene of her making the spell is also so well animated.
Begin thy magic spell.
She opens the book to dispel. Each little transformation is visually shown with the corresponding music. And she has this sort of crow pet that reacts for the audience to everything that's happening. And even that crow, who is supposedly also evil, is scared of the evil queen in this scene, as any little child I think would be. I remember skipping this scene sometimes because I found it too scary. I'm grateful that I had a mom to read me bedtime stories about these princesses, and I'm glad I had a dad who played all these movies for me, that I had all of these Disney DVDs and that I watched them growing up, because I'm glad I grew up believing in love and kindness and generosity. I think the world could do with a lot more of that. I do believe that these sorts of movies are what made my childhood magical. They make you believe in magic, they make you believe in good over evil, because in the end that's all these stories are. It's a story about how good conquers all evil, even the worst of them. Even when you think there's no more hope left, there always is, and good will always come through to win the day. So I would recommend doing a marathon of rewatching all the Disney movies, and let me know in the comments what should the next Disney movie that I review